To me, I'd be traveling. I would be doing whatever the hell I wanted to do,
Right.
you know, and I look at it today and I'm like, there's so many people that just they retire and then 2 weeks later they're gone. And you're like,
Mm.
worked all your life for what?
Hmm.
Like enjoy it while you have it and you have the time and your health because we're not guaranteed tomorrow, and that's what
Right.
it comes down to. So just I always keep that when I wake up in the morning and
Welcome to the Your Message Received podcast. And now, taking your message to the finish line, your host, John Duffin.
Hey folks, John Duffin here, Duffin Media. Welcome back to another episode of Your Message Received. Your Message Received is the home, the place, the platform to help you find your most true, your best authentic business voice. Heck, maybe your most true, authentic voice. Get what you want, find what you need, improve your results, make billions of dollars, meet the person of your dreams. That's why we have today's guest on. He's promising those last two. Or maybe not promising, but working really hard to make that happen. What we do have, though, is entrepreneur, team leader, realtor extraordinaire, innovator, tech guru, and an all-around fun guy, and I credit Josh Buchter to setting our matchmaker situation here. Andy Kowalski from the Andy Kowalski Team at Opus Elite Real Estate. Welcome aboard, man.
thanks for having me. Appreciate it, John. Thanks for Josh for introducing us. It's been a pleasure.
Right. One of the best connectors, local folks. Like, we've had Josh on the show. We've had Beth on the show. And it's amazing the consistency of really good people that are aligned with that. Tell me how you connected with Josh.
I connected with Josh through Mark Gatta,
Mm.
owner broker of Opus, and I've I s- was been in the real estate industry for 21 plus years, and I was looking for a move, and Mark and I kind of talked, and we've been talking for a long time actually,
Hmm.
and then created another business. I have another business going on that I about a year and a half in. When I met Mark, it's now 2.5 years old, but I needed to really get it promoted locally and really in front of a lot of people. And he introduced me to he introduced me to Josh
Yep.
and Bethany. And I've been super grateful for their friendship, their relationship, everything since. And really, it's been life changing and just really not even just about the business, it's about just meeting good people, and you just know that you can connect on certain levels professionally, personally with these people. And Josh and Bethany are those people, and they just are genuine. They're genuine. They want to help. They connect everybody to the right people.
I think that part's great. By the way, folks, you may know, and if not, go look it up. I don't mean that in a threatening way, but I mean, it sounded weird. But I mean, more. Mark Gatta is also a Your Message Received guest of the show and friend of the show. So it's just the circle just keeps getting fuller and fuller
Yeah.
and better and better. Talk to me about the gap in between. So you go from the bakery to the restaurant business, the bake and the crazy hours and all that sort of thing. And then you're flashing forward into present day.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the middle part.
So restaurant business was crazy. I was opening up Donato's Pizzerias in the Philadelphia and Florida market. They were an Ohio-based pizza chain that McDonald's bought in 2000, and they bought Chipotle, Boston Market. So they just wanted to blow up all over the world.
Wow.
So I was helping them with locations, building,
Mhm.
hiring, building teams, building profit margins, everything in each location around here. And it was a great learning experience. It was great fun. You got to meet amazing people all through the area, the industry. Um, and then you see the writing on the wall when your McDonald's stocks are starting to crash, and you're
Mhm.
like, we got to do something. And there was just an unlimited amount of spending being done just to get these brands out there and owned by McDonald's. So um, I saw it writing on the wall. I went, started my real estate license. I had that epiphany of food and shelter,
And
big
shelter.
things in life, you know.
Mhm.
So that's what I did, and took my real estate license at Bucks County Community College,
Mhm.
and failed the test a couple times. But then, so I was unemployed for a few months, and then from there, just building my business. You know, learning the tips and tricks and trades, and
Mhm.
and listening and understanding what's needed. And I thought I really had a big sphere because I was part of a lot of business associations for the pizzerias and all the areas in the tri-state area, and it really didn't kind of help me as much as I thought it would. But you know, here we are today. You know, so building up a business, great business. Then the recession
Mhm.
hits, totally took a toll. Fighting through that, still continuing marketing and keeping my brand out there to you know, moving around different brokers and just really building teams. I love training, mentoring
Mhm.
realtors, new realtors, helping them lead gen, really kind of showing them what no one else showed me, you know, or helped me or taught me to do. So I didn't have really a solid mentor in the beginning at all. And then it was here we are. So I love to give back. I love to help people not make the same mistakes that I've done. Different world today with social media. It's easier to
Mhm.
kind of build your brand and build who you are with all your friend connections and LinkedIn and all that. But
Mhm.
it's just a different world. Still, you need somebody to teach you how to write contracts, how to do the day to day, and run your real estate business
Mhm.
like a business.
Mhm.
Just because you work for a broker doesn't mean your brand and you are not a business. So that's it.
How soon did you realize that? Meaning, what did you have? Like, did you always know that? Did you go through something to figure it out? How did that work? And
Uh,
how did it not work?
yeah, I've learned a lot from a few realtors in my
Mhm.
life that I've either partnered with, or I've we're close with that just, you know, a lot of them had their stuff together and others
Mhm.
didn't, and
Right.
just kind of winged it. And it was, and I was kind of on the winging side of things and wing this, wing that, and then you learn from going through the recession, hard times, you
Mhm.
know, and I
Stay
didn't.
with me on that for a moment. What was that like
Um,
to get through? But first, what was it like to endure it?
so wasn't like it hit in '08. It didn't affect me up in New Hope and Doylestown
Mhm.
area,
Mhm.
Newtown, really until 2010, 11, and 12,
Why do you
because
think
we
there
still,
was a ripple effect there?
yeah, we had a lot of pharmaceutical business and
Ah,
reloads, so we were still doing a lot of relocation business.
okay.
So up until they stopped in
Mhm.
2010, and that's where. But in '06, '07, I had some amazing years that I didn't put my money in the stock market. Thank you, Lord. I actually was buying gold bars. That was one of my dreams as a kid, is to have a few antique safes and just buy a ton of gold bars and stock that like nobody's business.
See,
And I,
that's not that common. So I mean,
no,
it's interesting. People talk about them, but they're typically older people that are
yeah,
talking about gold bars.
yeah, no, I have a love for gold.
Okay. Okay.
So, and
Well, when
antique
you put it
safes.
like that,
Yeah. But no, and I didn't know either too, in a recession or when the stock market crashes, commodities go up. So to me, that's a lesson there that I was like, oh, okay. So and during the recession where I felt it, I
Mhm.
had to take this gold and go to pawn shops and sell it so I could pay my mortgage, my marketing, my bills, and everything. So I would take a duffel bag of gold ounces here, 50 ounces, whatever it was that I bought in '06 and '07 for 200, 230 an ounce. You know, I was like Scrooge McDuck. I wanted to swim in his vault of gold coins, right?
Boy, and you're
That
looking
was my
into a
vision.
big heavy bag that's like, oh hey,
A duffel bag I kind of held very close to my vest, pulling up to a pawn shop that I never thought I would be in, but I was multiple times in a
yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah,
And they're like, "Where the heck did you get this? What do you want to
mm,
do?" I said,
yeah,
"I need to pay my bills." Okay, how much do you need? I need 10 grand this month or
mhm,
whatever it was that month. And he goes, "Okay, you know what it is an ounce?" I said, "No." He goes, "It's $900 an ounce." I was like, "Oh." He goes, well, "What did you pay?" I said, 200, 230,
mhm,
300 an ounce. He goes, "Oh, so you made some money." I said,
mhm.
"Well, yeah, but I'm not making money now." So this is where, so thank God, that dream, that little kid in me wanted those gold bars, because
Mhm.
if I put my money in the market and it crashed the way it did, I wouldn't have anything. I
Right.
wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be in
Mhm.
real estate. I'd probably be back in the restaurant business.
Yep.
So that really helped me, through 2, 3 years of tough times. And
Mhm.
me and the pawn shop guy were best friends after 3 years. Um, it was it was interesting, and it was great, but I didn't have to give him all my gold bars because
Right.
how it jumped in price. So,
Mhm.
but lesson learned, don't always put everything in the stock market,
Mhm.
spread it around, diversify. And that's
Mhm.
really a big component today, as well as not just real estate, but having my virtual assistant agency, having
Mhm.
other
Mhm.
businesses to, just in case, never have all your eggs in one basket. Like my grandparents always said, my parents always said, like, so true.
That's literally family lineage all the way down the line that you're
Yeah.
saying to people, right? You're
Yeah.
lucky family, man. That's just that people are willing enough to share what they've gone through. What would you say was in terms of whether it was the restaurant industry, the early stages of the real estate industry, including the recession time that you just talked about? Only the only question is, what would you say was the best experience that you went through during that time? Uh, and what was your worst in regards to what you had to deal with?
Best time was, um, man, so many good times. Um, just really, getting it to a point of from '04, nothing, really nothing. My first year, I
Mhm,
made $1,550 my first year. Okay.
mhm.
Second year was 45,000. From there, it went up drastically.
It's
And
like your gold bars,
yeah, I mean,
right? In terms of increasing.
yeah. So I had a business partner back then,
Mhm.
um, and his business partner had passed away. Was one of my dear friends and mentor who
Okay.
really taught me contracts and really spent time with me in the evenings and all that. And
Mhm.
then going and fast forwarding, being partners with him after she had passed from pancreatic cancer,
Mm.
uh, learning everything what not to do in real estate.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Mhm.
over the years, and just taking it all in, and going from nothing, 100 bucks a year to, we're selling 50, 60 million a year in sales, and really just
Oh,
in New Hope, Soulbury,
yeah.
Newtown, Doylestown. So huge, that would be my best thing ever, is really growing
Mhm.
our business to that point, and just me handling everything. And he was older, and he was more of like the rainmaker, but also I, coming from marketing background and
Mhm.
everything, and my drive and my passion was to be successful, to be the best realtor, the best everything. So my drive there was to know how to do everything. So God forbid we split or something happens,
Mhm.
I'm continuing on where I need to be.
Mhm.
So the worst, having that same partner and other people, steal from me, you
Oh.
know,
Mhm.
either by referrals or by uh, not really doing good business that I didn't want my name on, and because it was unethical or whatever. So there was some tough times there, and losing a couple 100,000 because your partner's stealing or
Mm.
hiding business from you hurts a little. So I would say that's lesson learned of watch who you partner with,
Mm-hmm.
and just don't let it crack you. Just keep going,
Mm.
like lick your wounds and move on. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you gonna, crying about it and sulking about it and laying on the couch for months or years? Like, where does that get you? Nowhere. Get up, go, 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 go. Keep going. Our time is so limited here. Every day is such a gift, and you got to make the best out of every day. And that's it.
Did you always know that?
No,
What
no.
got you to realize that?
Um, really, like having kids,
Mm. Mm.
and
Okay.
an amazing wife. She was my cheerleader all through real estate.
Mm-hmm.
We met my first year in real estate, and it was rocky at first, and then it was, we had a little time apart and all of this, but it's always like the best support. And I didn't even know what I had until we split the first time, and you realize how much love or how much support you do have. And it's and that and then having kids is like, man, I'm now 47. I'm like, phew,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm on the second half of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I need to make every day count. I need to enjoy my kids. I need to make sure I set them up. I make every minute, every hour count of my day.
How long did it take you to, like, the gap that you talked about, right? How long was the gap?
From real estate to where I am
Oh,
today.
forgive me. No, the separate. You say there was a separation.
Oh,
How long was that gap?
oh, few years, few years.
Who knew, whether it was you or your wife or both? Who knew that it would probably made more sense to come back than stay away?
Well, we were engaged. So we got engaged in 2010 or 11,
Mm-hmm.
and it was more like we were together since '04, right? So 6, 7 years, and
Right.
it's time, like either shit or get off the butt. Sorry, my
I can
language,
relate.
but uh,
Um,
but so I proposed, and it was a not so great engagement.
why?
Year year, I would say, or
Okay.
6 months.
Mm-hmm.
The way I proposed was with our pug Rocco, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but then it was more because I think it was like an ultimatum. I felt, and I was stubborn about it, I think. So yeah, pride and stubbornness got me to where I was. So
I got it.
uh kind of staying in touch with her. She
Mm-hmm.
lived in Bluebell at the time, and with because of the pug, thank God
Mm-hmm.
for Rocco. um that's where we kind of stayed connected. I had to watch him or come over, pick him up, blah, blah, blah. And I just missed our connection. I missed our
Mm-hmm.
life,
Mm-hmm.
and we traveled, we had ups and downs, everything, and it was just crazy, crazy, crazy love,
Mm-hmm.
but so then, I'm like, I miss you. I want this to work, so she's like, okay, well, we can try, but I'll know when you're ready, when you can kind of stand out on a table in the middle of a restaurant and shout how much you love me. Okay, that's interesting. So 6 months we're dating
Mhm.
again, and I hire a flash mob company.
You didn't do it, did you? Oh
I
my
hire a flash mob company to pull up a flash mob in Philadelphia, in Queens Village, and we did a big
Ooh,
flash mob. It's on YouTube. Search Andy and Heather Ann flash mob, and it's there.
I'm on it.
Um, it's so cool. My dance moves weren't great on the video, but I'll tell you that the 2 rehearsals we had, I was nailing it. Okay.
Oh my God. But only that's only 2 rehearsals. That ain't a bad. That's a lot of progress with just 2 rehearsals.
Yeah.
How many people were in the flash mob? I know that sounds like a weird question.
Probably 80 some people showed up,
Oh my God.
volunteers
In Queen Village. So you're all 80 some odd people in Queen Village.
next to the restaurant. Oh gosh, what was it called? But there was a field next to it, and that's where we did it. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the restaurant, but it was amazing. We went down there all the time for the food there. But it was really great. And so she, that was me getting on top of a restaurant table and shouting out how much I love her.
Listen, that's almost a certainty. I'm looking right now. I just went and Googled it as well. It's
It's 23,000 views. I'll tell you that.
oh, very impressive. So that's 2012, if I'm seeing that correctly,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. By the way, uh, if I was even more clever, I will have no. I know. I mean, we'll have the YouTube link. That's easy. But
Yeah.
what I was going to say is, I may need to somehow jack a clip in there, but I'm not that great with splicing YouTube clips. But you're the tech and innovator, so maybe you could help me. But I love the fact that you put yourself out like that. You
Yeah.
know, and it's like if you're going to do it, for God's sake, do it right. As I said, I could relate. A relationship ended because I was the guy that was like dragging my feet and all that stuff, with somebody that I
Yeah.
was with for a long time. And
Yep.
so I find these stories fascinating, and very often they don't end like that. What you just said, they don't end that way. They just people
No.
just like at least they didn't in my it didn't in my case. We just
Yeah.
different lives and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and you
And
never know how things are going to go.
yep.
So you brought up earlier the part, it's like the kids having kids was the realization that things didn't like unimportant things didn't matter or didn't have to matter quite so much. And you were talking about that
Yeah.
sense of time urgency.
Yeah. Like you just kind of put in perspective
Mhm,
of, every day, like we meet or we waste so much
mhm,
time, like either fighting or
mhm,
just just stuff that you're like,
mhm,
you don't need to do. Like, don't focus on that. Focus on you. Focus on what matters to you, and make it happen. Like, what do you want to do in life?
mhm,
We all only have this one life to live, and we
mhm,
got to make the best of it. And if it's, you know, uh, busting our ass doing what we have to do in life, or
mhm.
is it
Right?
enjoying the fruits of our labor, or retiring early,
Mhm.
never retiring? Like, I always think like even I'm the very like extrovert out of my whole family. Okay.
Okay.
My dad was a postmaster postal worker for 47 years.
Mhm.
My mom's a nurse, retired, both had health issues. My mom, breast cancer, my dad with a liver transplant
Mm,
7 years ago. And, they were kind of forced to retire, but also it was their time. Like it was their time to go enjoy life now,
mhm,
first get heal and then go enjoy life. And there, to me, I'd be traveling. I would be doing whatever the hell I wanted to do,
right.
and I look at it today and I'm like, there's so many people that just they retire and then 2 weeks later they're gone. And you're like,
Mm,
worked all your life for what?
mhm,
Like enjoy it while you have it and you have the time and your health, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow, and that's what
right.
it comes down to. So just I always keep that when I wake up in the morning and we start our day, the kids, I
Mhm,
usually cook breakfast for them and this and that, and enjoy the day before I go. And you know it's so important to me to spend as much time with them, my wife,
mhm.
and then go kill it for the day and come back and own it and just put it away, and now enjoy my kids again, my family, and or do stuff with them, or we're always going to parks, we're going to walks, we're doing things, like keep them active, teaching them stuff. So it really you're kind of reliving your childhood with a new set of eyes, experienced eyes.
So you went from 140 hours a week literally somebody needing to throw a bucket of cold water on your head, figuratively, because your dad was,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You dive in a shower, run right back out the door. When now you have kids and you're coming up with this different perspective as you're going through it, I'm thinking more of the process of it. What enabled you, not the why, not the kids, but what I'm saying, to be able to flip the switch, to be able just to even describe your day as to enjoy your kids, enjoy your family, make them breakfast, go kill it, and then be able to turn the switch back off a second time? That's a lot of stopping and starting. How long did it take for you to get good at that?
It's a work in progress.
Oh, I didn't say perfect.
It's
I said
still,
just
it's
good.
still, it's
Yeah.
still tough,
Mhm.
because I was always go, go, go. And
Right.
whatever I need to do, if a client calls, I'm out showing the
Mhm.
property right away,
Yep.
and it's kind of like, you know, um, you realize, it's, do I drive an hour to show this property, or can I push it off till tomorrow? Or
Mhm.
what is, are they really going to buy? Do I know these buyers? Are they qualified? There's so many different variables, and I get to kind of have that thought process in my head before I really make that appointment, or not kind of, not say, I'm going to push them off just to push them off, but what's more important today
Mhm.
that I need to worry about today?
Mhm.
And then I can focus more and better and clearer tomorrow, you know?
Mhm.
And that's been like ever since my kids have been born. My Enzo is he'll be 4 years old on the
Yep.
31st, and Georgina's 2 years old.
Mhm.
So it's been over 4 years. Like I've been kind of, I was always, and I kid with my wife about yeah, I kid with my wife about this, is like, um, I'm not a 9 to 5er. I'm not a nine to
Mhm.
fiver.
Mhm.
But over the past year, if I look at it, that's kind of been my hours without being my hours, And it's funny because she's like, "There's nothing wrong with being a 9 to 5er." I said, "No, I didn't say that. I said I'm not a 9 to 5er.
Mhm.
My mind is going 24/7. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have just thoughts, ideas, and as I drive, I'm like, why would they build that building that way, or why wouldn't they put
Yep.
their brand on that
Mm.
truck?" And I'm thinking and innovating of ideas and stuff that most people probably don't even give a crap about, but I am driving through and I'm seeing opportunities or business ventures or this that I could just pick out. Why I was 17, 18, 19 working in that bakery I had, and why I wanted to go to UPenn for marketing,
Right.
because I wanted my own bakery and coffee
Mhm.
shop. This was big. This was when Dunkin' Donuts was going downhill.
Starbucks is now taking off.
Starbucks wasn't even on the radar yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So there was only one, I think, drive-through coffee shop. It was in Quakertown, and I was like, I am going to create this business of, remember those photo mats in the shopping centers, those little
Yeah.
Kodak photo mats.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That was going to be my drive-up coffee shop, and I
So that was the
patented and
inspiration.
trademarked it, and it was called Joe on the Go.
Oh my God.
So I
We needed a Joe on the go.
17, 18, 19 years old,
Uh-huh.
I was building out a business plan, marketing plan, and logos and
Mhm.
trademarking and understanding. I was trying to get SBA, money, and as
Right.
a 17-year-old, come on, right?
Mhm.
And so, that was my mentality, that was my
Mhm.
vision. And Joe on the Go would be a franchise blowing up.
Mhm.
And every location, old gas station that I used to sit at and count cars, because I didn't have the money to pay the township to put a strip down and count for me.
Right.
Um, I sat there early mornings before school or after school and count cars. Every location, as of 20 years ago, has been a
Mhm.
Starbucks. And I'm
That
like,
Jesus.
that's
Mhm.
where my head, I was 20 years ahead of where, you know, I was, but that's how I am. Like that's where I just want to get a better solution to things.
So funny you say that. That seems like you still are. So it's like one of those things
Yeah.
you could either, I guess, sit back and think, "Oh, I should have, I might have, I wished,
Yeah.
and it's like you brought up the 9 to 5 part. I can relate. Oh, in the sense that it's like, I guess even when I was a 9 to 5 or decades ago, I wasn't a 9 to 5er, and I
Yeah.
think that is a mindset more. I think then as your mind keeps going.
Yeah.
So, speaking of keeping going, you've brought up technical innovations and time saving innovations that obviously help you, but also as it manifests in, and if it's not Joe on the go, well then it's the virtual assistant program, and that's one of the things I
Yeah.
really wanted to at least touch on today in, we'll say, the first parter, because I want to hear more about the ways, not what VAs are. That's become so relevant and prevalent,
Yeah.
but the ease in usage. And God, that I'm making it sound like some shill infomercial, and I hate when I do that. But I've always been torn. I don't.
Yeah.
I wished for those to work for me, and I've had no success. What gave you the guts to start a system like that?
So I first dabbled in virtual assistants in the Philippines back in
Mm.
'09.
Okay.
It was very taboo. It was very, very expensive.
Mm.
I think 2 months it cost me over $20,000. Going almost into the recession, right? That was money not well spent.
Right. I
So
was gonna say with
I
your gold bars.
yeah, yeah, and I ended that very quickly because the language barrier still wasn't there,
Hmm.
or was there, and it just wasn't easy as it is today. Fast forward till about 4 years ago, I had a director of operations on my team, real estate team. I had people, transaction coordinators, and all in house, and it cost me a lot of money. And I was like, this just, and they weren't showing up or they weren't doing their job complete.
Okay.
And somebody said to me, why don't you get a virtual assistant? I was like,
Mm.
I guess, so I went to this one agency and it was $12,000 and I could get up to like 3 VAs. So we interviewed, I paid the money, I interviewed, did this, that, and I got 2 out of the 3 that I interviewed. Afterwards, I get an email, congrats, here's their info, good luck. I was like, okay, what is the next steps? Like, how do I even pay them? How do I even talk to them? What do
Let's
I
get to
do?
work. Um,
Like this, how do I even get them to connect with me? Like
right.
it was just like so, and it was so weird. And I was like, "Oh, I guess I gotta order Zoom and talk to them through
Hmm.
Zoom or this. And it was so bizarre. They wouldn't help me. So I couldn't even talk to them. So I emailed them, they didn't respond. So then I went to another agency, $8,000 for
So
one
we're up
VA.
to 20K right now just for the two companies.
So I did that and I said, listen, before I pay, I want to make sure that I know you're going to teach me how to talk to them and this and that and everything. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep, yep, yep. Find out that I hire a one VA out of there. Afterwards, they were starting to bill me $300 a month for support and to train me. I said, you didn't disclose any of this. This is, oh, well, it's in our contract. I look, it's not in my contract. Oh, you must have the old contract. So sorry. Yeah, it's $300 a month if you want us to teach you. Uh, no, like told you. And so I took the VA and
Hmm.
then it was all right. That VA helped me find a couple more VAs, but ended up really researching, finding some right people that I thought were right people and training them, teaching them what I need, take stuff off my plate, the nitty gritty that I
Hmm.
didn't have time for, that I just needed follow up. My calendar, I was so bad at keeping a calendar.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was the worst thing ever. And as a realtor, I need to be on point with my
Hmm.
calendar and my emails. So they took that and then from there it was we set up all these processes, SOPs, my KPIs. We were running
Hmm.
it like great and it was unbelievable. And then I'm like, a couple other friends and colleagues are like, "Hey, can we get what you're doing?" Like I said, "Yeah, sure. Let me see if my team can get you somebody
Yep.
that they know, one of their friends." Happened 2, 3 times. I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "Well, how do I even pay them? How do I show them stuff?" And I
Hmm.
sat with them and I showed them what I did, and they're like, "Oh, this is great. You should start doing this." I'm like, "Hmm." They're like, "Does any other agency do this? Sit with them and teach them?" I'm like, "No." I said, oh, okay. I was like, hmm. So we're like the white glove service of the
Hmm.
virtual assistant agencies. Like nobody will spend the time that we spend helping you, making sure and guaranteeing a VA for you that is in your industry for minimum 5 years. They know what they're doing.
Hmm.
We've put them through a rigorous training and not just training, but testing, English proficiency, the disc profile from Tony
Hmm.
Robbins,
Yeah, sure.
everything, making sure their resume or their portfolio is really theirs, not just
Mhm.
chat GPT. Okay.
Mhm.
Because there is a lot of fraud out there. There's a lot of fake. And I found out one of my VAs that I trusted very well to train my others, hard lesson, I'm going to tell you, and everybody's sitting down. Um, 9 months, my first 9 months in this business, over 300,000, close to 300,000, not over, close to 300,000 stolen from me. Now, don't let that scare you. All right. But
I want to stay there before we don't let it scare me because it
yeah,
already did and it wasn't my money. So I'm more of a sense,
it
nothing
hurt.
overly dramatic, but it's like, so then what? How are you able to let that just roll off you or your family?
It was tough. It was a lot of our savings that just like
Hmm.
poof, gone in 9 months. And it was tough because we really trusted her and we really kind of brought her in as like another family member
Right.
into our circle.
Mhm.
And um, it hurt. It was put bad pit in my stomach when my COO kind of really dove deep and found out what she was doing and all this stuff. And it was bad. And about it took me about a good week and a half to shake it off. And
That's all.
that that to me that's a long time. But yeah,
Okay.
uh that because usually I could roll something not so that much money off,
Mhm.
like the 20,000 I could roll
Yep.
off in a day or a couple
Yep.
days, right?
That's amazing.
But because I don't like to waste time. It's
Okay.
not,
Okay.
I effed up, time to move
Hmm.
on. Okay, I can make more. I can make more. Let's
Hmm.
go. Let's go. So it took me a good I literally it was very hurtful. And so, my wife was there. My
Hmm.
obviously my kids were little,
Yeah.
but
Right.
my wife was my biggest supporter there.
Hmm.
Harry, my COO, amazing, really just took over and was like, okay, we're fixing this. And
Okay.
he was really for my Andy Kowalski team only. And he jumped in. He's like, listen, I ran call centers. I've built agencies.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump in. I got you. And I'm like, nah, it's okay. And I had a hard time like trusting, but I said, what else do I got to lose? F
Hmm.
it. And I gave
Hmm.
him pretty much the keys to the castle. And I said, let's go. And I just needed a week to kind of get my thoughts together because I wanted to fly to the Philippines, or she actually moved to California. And I couldn't do anything as far as deporting or anything like that, or prosecuting her because she was in a sanctuary city, LA.
Oh. Okay.
So she was very, very protected in that aspect.
Wow.
But
Okay.
because I had attorneys in LA
Hmm.
tracking her and I had her info and everything. So
Hmm.
they said there's no doing anything to her. She's protected. I was like, what do you mean protect? They
Right.
He stole 300,000, almost
Uh-huh.
300,000 from
How's
me.
that protected?
And so I let it go. I was like, I'm not
Hmm.
going to spend more money on attorneys fighting
Hmm.
this to what? To get her deported and that's it. That's all. Like she's not going to pay me back,
No, it
you
doesn't
know?
serve you.
So why waste any more time, energy
Hmm.
on her? Let's move on. Let's get this going and rock and roll.
Hmm.
And from there, Harry's been
Wow.
unbelievable. He stepped up
Hmm.
and he's been the best thing that's happened to me in real estate business, my
Hmm.
team business, as well as beyond business virtual assistants. So, and now we're on another project with my real estate app, Easy Search Homes. That he's like, Andy, hold on, another business, another venture. I'm like, you have no idea how many ideas I have in my head right now. So let's keep going. He's like, oh boy, okay. So we're on it. And Yeah, but it's so easy to work with a virtual assistant that most people are so overwhelmed or scared or anxious. And it's like, I get it. I was there.
Right? I've gone through it personally. I've
I'm
gone
here to
through it.
help. And I'm here to help make it so easy
Yeah.
for you.
Mhm.
And we have a 60-day guarantee. So God forbid, most of the time you're going to know in the first 2 to 3 weeks if that VA is going to work for you or not.
Mhm.
And if not, and you don't mesh, we're replacing them for free. We're
Mhm.
getting them somebody else for you until you're happy. Like that's the best part about us. We're not just taking your money and running. We are working it and making sure you have a successful and you transition, but also you level up in your business, in your life,
Mhm.
personal life, professional, whatever it is. This VA needs to help you level up in business, no matter what.
Mhm.
And most of their salaries are 10 to 12, 13,000 a year. That's it.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not a whole lot of money, but it's good money to them. So that's it, man. And it helps them. I'm helping two sets of people in that business, and I love that. I'm helping the VAs get better jobs,
Mhm.
quality jobs with quality realtors and lenders and
Right.
everybody, small
Yep.
business owners. And I'm helping these business owners level up. Like we have so many lenders that are just, they're like, what? Like this guy is killing it, getting me.
Mhm.
And this, my lender in Washington was like, dude, he turned in 26 applications that are all approved, ready to go for buyers. I'm like,
Mhm.
awesome. He goes, I wouldn't have done that without him. It's like huge, just in 1 month. So there's some, I love those stories. I love that. I love that feedback because that's what keeps me going. That keeps that positive stuff negates that 300K easily, just like that.
The bounce back.
So,
Mhm.
you know, it's really the comeback is greater than the setback
Yeah,
every
man.
single time.
Yeah. And I guess that in terms of you being able to manufacture a different kind of life in the sense that rather than being constantly on the go and the ability now to be closer, even if you're not, even though you're not a 9 to 5, or that if your hours more relate to that point, I would imagine it allows you to think more freely so that it's not like I personally, I hope I never stop thinking. I don't want my
Yeah,
mind to go off. I would
yeah,
certainly not do that by choice,
yeah,
but it's if I'm thinking crazy and frenetically, well, that I don't want. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Where
yeah,
it's like, and I tend to think best when I'm at peace. I tend to think best when I'm in a good place. I don't know, is that so for you?
yeah. And actually, so my downtime after the kids go to bed
Yeah.
between 7 and 8 and 9,
Mhm.
I always tell my wife, don't touch the kitchen. I'm going to clean up the kitchen. And I do that every night,
Okay.
mostly every night.
Mhm.
That is my downtime to really process my day,
Mhm.
down, play everything so I can have a good night's sleep and
Mhm.
or wake up in the morning and enjoy my kids all over again. And it's a great,
Mm.
you know, um, I process out everything. And then even when I'm just standing at the sink doing hand washing dishes, like
Right.
I do it. I do that,
Mhm.
so it's not like I'm above that or anything. Like I do that stuff, but it's also a great mind release,
Mhm.
like process, get it out of my head.
Mhm.
So I do that. And, it's really the VAs, my team on both sets of companies are amazing. They allow me to create more business. This
Mhm.
app wouldn't have launched if I didn't have them. Beyond Business wouldn't have launched if I didn't have them. Like
Mhm.
all of this stuff, my serial entrepreneur is now coming out more and more because I have 13 more ideas that I could easily throw at them, but I would need to pay a lot more VAs and we're not there yet. But
Yeah.
but Harry's on board. He's like,
Mhm.
let's go, let's keep growing, let's build, build, build. And that's it. Like it's just what I'm built to do. I love it, you know?
What would you wish for your 2 kids right now in terms of that sense of knowing what you've gone through? Um, what would you see in terms of creating a authentic life for them? I don't mean you creating it, but I mean for them. What would you wish for?
Um, I wish for them to be just as creative as I am, and
Mhm.
but also maybe having the resources, not
Mhm.
not working for it, but
Mhm.
working for it, but not having to struggle. My
Okay.
first
Yeah.
2 years in real estate, struggling, making $1,500 or
Mhm.
40,000 the second year.
Mhm.
Like, I did it, a lot of what I did, not just for the money, but now high school and all that, that was definitely for the money. That was a whole nother conversation we didn't have. And we don't need to go there right now, but because
Mhm.
that's funny and that's good.
So get the hell
But
back, right?
yeah,
I'll get
yeah,
the hell
yeah.
back, and you can tell me that.
But the kids, I wish that, I'll be able to give them uh, more opportunities than ever had,
Mhm.
and that's really it. Fail, succeed, get back up. They
Mhm.
have that
Oh,
drive. They have that capability of not just going back, crawling into their hole, and that's it.
right.
Get up out of bed. Let's go. Tomorrow's another day. Let's go. LFG.
Dude, I know you've got a beautiful website, um, the Andy Kowalski Team. I'm sorry, Andy Kowalski Team, not the. But all those links will be there. You don't have to restart
Yeah.
reading off www. I wouldn't do that to you. But you're all over social media because you get it. I'll have those links as well too. But is there anywhere specific that you're like, no, definitely find me here?
AndyKowalski.com is my contact, my digital business card.
Oh yeah, okay, got it, got
Andy
it.
Kowalski Team is my website, my
Mhm,
real estate, but also the app website, Easy Search Homes. It's connected there. So easysearchhomes.com
mhm,
goes to AndyKowalskiTeam.com.
right.
BeyondBizVA.com, that's the virtual assistant. You want to know
Mhm,
more? Let's set up a strategy call, talk. There's no obligation. There's no pressure. We don't do hard sells. We know what we are. We know what we have. Let's go. We're here to help. We're help level you up.
let's go. I love
Let's go. Let's grow. That's our motto.
that. Hell, let's grow. Listen, I think it's a beautiful way to go. I meant what I said, so I want to hear about. I always why I'm fascinated by the high school years. I don't know, but I want to be. So, one last question for the moment is: would you come back?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Well, then, all right,
Absolutely.
we've solved all the world's problems for this first pass, and I'm thrilled. I acknowledge you, man.
Yeah. John, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for having me.
You're a good dude, and I really appreciate you. Thrilled that you're here. And folks, you've just heard another episode of Your Message Received. Keep liking, watching, sharing, subscribing, telling your friends and family. That was easy to say. And we'll keep coming back with more. John Duffin here, Duffin Media. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great day, all. Bye.
Take care.
And now, making its way across the finish line, Your Message Received has been a production of Duffin Media.